facing corrupt officials in North Korea. The usual punishment is undoubtedly severe. Kim Jong-un is known for his decisive and prompt decision-making. Famous review. May 13, 2014. Major disaster in Pyongyang. A 23-story luxury apartment building collapsed unexpectedly. Turned into ruins. Tragic loss of more than 500 lives. Shocking. There was nothing natural about this tragedy, but serious corruption of builders caused engineering quality problems. This apartment was originally inhabited by high-ranking members of North Korean society, including police and security personnel, although as a high-end residence. The construction quality should have been guaranteed, but it's actually a snapshot. There's no shortage of shoddy buildings. Only a 2-story partial structure remains intact. All other floors collapsed. This aroused great indignation among the people. Kim Jong-un himself is also deeply angry about this. After learning the news, Kim Jong-un immediately ordered a detailed investigation and publicly bowed and apologized to the people. Under the watchful eye of the North Korean government, the results of the investigation were released promptly. The cause of the accident was determined to be serious engineering quality problems. The reason only refers to some officials and employees for their own sake. Selfishness empties the moral bottom line, stealthily stealing building materials from the construction site. It is obvious here. The construction of the wrecked apartment, construction mistakes and flaws. Part of it is officials who prioritize short-term interests. Corruption during construction. Reduce the amount of necessary materials. This behavior directly threatened the lives of the people. This led to a thorough official investigation and cleanup of the storm. Shows how North Korea is dealing with corruption. No matter what level of official, could face serious consequences. North Korea's treatment of corruption, the attitude of the officials is zero tolerance and severe punishment. For example, in a construction project, some workers secretly use lunch boxes, take the cement out of the construction site. After accumulating a belt, it is sold on the black market at a low price. This behavior is small, but it adds up, seriously undermines the quality of the project. In addition, senior managers who oversee construction quality, although there is no direct corruption, but for quick success, focusing on speed over quality. Neglect of building safety. The apartment building was as bad as tofu residue. After the accident, the North Korean government responded promptly. 4 people in charge were promptly executed. The director of the 7th Bureau was also dismissed and was forcibly detained. Shocking. It takes only 3 days from the disclosure of the affairs to the disposal. In another incident, during a surprise inspection by the procuratorial organs, 3 officials involved in trade were exposed. Hidden huge assets. After verification, they found out that they were greedy for public funds. Finally, these officials also faced a severe end of execution. Even their families were implicated and punished. These measures show the North Korean government's resolve to tackle corruption. The corrupt face the risk of death, and those who indulge are inevitably dealt with seriously. How strictly does North Korea punish corrupt officials? Kim Jong-un will not be soft on corruption, even if the object is his aunt and parents. Shows his zero-tolerance policy. Same as thunder. In recent years, on the list of corrupt officials in North Korea, Jang Chang's is definitely at the top. As Kim Jong-un's failure, former Korean Shikwan school, his corruption methods are various, to an astonishing degree. For example, using state funds to buy precious metals, privately selling coal resources and land. The amount of money involved is admirable. In 2009, he spent a fortune on casinos, squandered over 4.60 million euros. You can see the extent of his greed. Jang Chang's life is also extremely luxurious. Flooding. With the power in hand, he maintained inappropriate relationships with numerous women, even the rampant use of contraband. Arrogant to the extreme. For a time, many North Koreans hated and feared him, but there is nothing we can do. And the small group that Jang Chang gathered gradually spread to many departments. There's been a depressing social climate of consciousness. In the face of such audacious corruption, is there no one who can control him? In fact, Kim Jong-un's father, that is, the previous leader, is feeding. Jiang Cheng's various heinous behaviors, already exposed, according to publicly available information. He was warned once about it, but due to kinship and the many departments involved, considering his past achievements, finally let go. But Jiang Cheng's was wrong to be tolerant. Treat yourself as an untouchable shield. Think of the Kim family as an umbrella company. I have no scruples. It actually made him more arrogant. Greed has skyrocketed, attempting to consolidate or even enhance one's position. Public information indicates that, at the height of Jiang Cheng's power, almost North Korea, he has people in all key departments. It's really tricky to deal with such a character, especially when Kim Jong-un first came to power. Hope to get rid of Jiang Cheng. It's a huge challenge. Jiang Cheng thinks he is safe and not stupid. Even for this one, a new generation of leaders is not impressed. He doesn't hide his intimacy in public. Kim Jong-un's determination and skill far exceeded expectations. December 8, 2030, an ostensibly ordinary meeting was held. Jiang Cheng's unsuspecting participation. But he doesn't know that this is his end. At this meeting, Kim Jong-un exposed Jang Shang-taek, all the crimes of his team, and publicly announced his dismissal. Right at the meeting, Jiang Cheng was subdued and taken away by 2 soldiers. A few days later, on December 12th, North Korea, the official public announcement of Jiang Cheng's death sentence, and executed immediately. It can be seen from this case that, no matter how high the status, when it comes to corruption, North Korea's handling was swift and severe. In comparison, in Japan, the treatment of corrupt officials is relatively mild. No immediate execution. But the law is clearly and strictly defined. As long as it is corruption, no matter the amount, will face severe punishment under the law. Japan even accepts civil servants as small as hanging. Seemingly innocuous gifts like ballpoint pens are expressly prohibited, not to mention using his position for personal gain. Private use of unit resources by civil servants. If you use office electric rice, it is also classified as corruption. This attitude towards corruption, reflecting whether in North Korea or Japan, the resolve to tackle corruption is very strong. Shows 2 countries fighting corruption. Business zero tolerance policy. Facing corrupt officials in Japan? That's absolutely meticulous. No mercy. Take, for example, the former mayor of Ikeda, Tamaki Tomita. It was frugality. Turns out to be a bizarre case of corruption. Because I dislike my salary. Can't afford a separate house. He actually lived in the city government. He also brought his own electrical appliances to use, thinking it would save some money on electricity. It was discovered too early in the clock every day. I was arrested because of the electricity bill of tens of yuan. Take off your official hat. Plants are gone? Let's talk about the former Prime Minister's Supervisory Commission. Because my son invited government officials to dinner, it cost about $30,000. This is a shop of light. The approval rating of the Supervisory Commission has been directly halved. In the end, even David was gone. He barely lasted a year in power. It seems that Japan is dealing with corrupt officials. There is no room for negotiation. Status is useless. Once corruption is discovered, you can imagine what will happen. There is a mayor, just because of embezzlement of less than $5,000. The future is hopeless. One warning, don't get promoted for the rest of your life. Change to an older one. Once the embezzlement amount exceeds 20,000 yen, that's 3 years in prison. Talk about more than 200,000 direct 5-year sentence. The entire estate has to be handed over. The most severe is the greed for more than 300,000 yen. Not only do you have to hang up, even relatives have to take the blame. Husband and wife have been working for 20 years. If you are greedy 500,000 yen, husband and wife sentenced to 30 years in prison. The children also carry a 10-year sentence. Not to mention that 5 generations of future generations cannot do business and enter politics. It's really one person doing one thing. Authentic collective responsibility. Japan has also launched an anti-corruption mechanism. Specialized search forces track corruption in political circles. Not to mention that civil servants must report transparently everything they do. Even if you use your own money to invest in stocks, you have to notify. Can't be sneaky. How much did the official reception cost? You have to report everything you eat. The masses only need to report. The investigation team has to come to the door. Civil servants in Japan are walking on ice, trembling. This set of operations is definitely to carry out the anti-corruption campaign to the end. It reflects Japan's zero-tolerance attitude towards corruption.